Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of Tier List Land on the RLG cast. I'm here with Johnny Donuts, the master of all things donuts, and I'm here with Putty, the master of all things that are claymation, even though it has nothing to do with that. Today we're
Play
talking
Fighter
80s.
64 and a third.
He's the third. Today we're talking 80s sitcoms on a tier list. We're gonna rank them. JD will be your tier list master, and we're just gonna jump into tier list land.
That was a quick jump.
Okay.
We're getting
I
good.
had no parachute for that.
We're good and good at this.
What's your frequency, Kenneth?
That's
All right.
90s though.
So listen, yeah, it's like 95.
Yeah.
Some of these we're not going to have seen. I made this list for once. We've actually made a list.
I can say I've seen every single show on here.
Good.
I have
so
no
I
one of them
compiled
have
this
it.
list based on the best shows on multiple major websites for the 80s. I also took a few that cross over that we did also have on our 90s list, but I did it because I just wanted to have the most 80s feelings ones on here. So like stuff like Married with Children and stuff, I know it went deep into the 90s, but it's a very 80s feeling show even when it went into the 90s.
I agree.
So the Cosby Show, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, now take it away, tier man.
So the first one on the list, you take the good, you take the bad, and there you have The Facts of Life.
The Facts of Life,
which was actually a spin-off of Different Strokes.
Didn't know that. The 80s had a lot of spin-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically you could see Maude Garrett's character right here is the same character.
Ah. So she just got a spin-off.
Yep.
Yeah, because she took care of the kids there, and same situation. She basically take care of them, but she's running the house now.
Oh, dude, you know what's not on here?
Tell us what's not on here.
Webster.
Oh,
he's
Webster's
right there.
Is it?
I think I got Webster.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. We'll find it. If we don't, we'll talk about it afterwards. So,
okay,
all right. I realized I liked a lot of these shows too, but I know which ones are my favorite. So, anyway, let's continue.
All right, so JD, you can start this one off.
I put this one right in the middle. Chill Pill.
I love that you're like, there's no Webster. Look at the next one on the list.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Webster.
I say, what's your damage? I wasn't really a big Facts of Life fan. I'm be honest with you. What do you think, Kembo?
I think we should leave it in the middle to start, but I kind of agree with Putty. I just think we're at a starting point here, and like the best list we ever did was the third list on Putty's video. You can check that out. Go to his channel. I'll try to put a link in the description. I always forget to do this, but
it'll be uploaded on Monday or Monday the 20...
This will be up tomorrow, which is Sunday, July something.
The 21st.
Okay, so the reasoning. The 21st already. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because 22nd on Monday.
The night we're recording this.
Also, happy belated birthday to JD.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, he's old. So
I am. Just turned 47.
He was like in peak TV watching time during most of these shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So believe it or not. 3-year difference.
Believe it or not, George.
Is that even on here?
Nope. And that makes me mad too.
You know what? You better just keep it down with what's on here and what's not on here, all right?
Hey,
sir?
Greatest American Hero is one of the greatest American shows.
Anyway, shut up. So I have, I do have Sledgehammer. Does that count?
Sure.
Okay.
No.
Anyways, what are we talking? What was I talking when I completely forgot?
Webster, you're on
Webster. Has a video where I think we did the tier list the best. We on the third tier list, we nailed the way to start a tier list, which is to just figure it out from the middle. Webster, Putty, tell us about Webster.
Webster is a show about a little kid named Webster. Just like it seems like there are a lot of little kids, and
where a white family adopts a little color.
Yeah, a lot of adopting. Whoa. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, basically, it's a kid that's
an African American boy. I apologize.
African American boy adopted by a white man. Don't worry, we're gonna return to that later again.
Yep.
A rich white man. Again, we're gonna return to that later as well. Is it better than the other version? I say let's just throw it in chill for right now. We'll come back to it. Honestly,
is it better or worse? Then
this was definitely worse.
Worse, yeah. I
would put it in what's your damage for now.
So I think there's where like there were still kids shows or like teenage type shows in the 90s. I think after the 90s is where it became very strictly like a Disney and Nickelodeon thing to do that, and everyone else just made normal sitcoms. But in the 80s, your average Wednesday night sitcom was about kids, and it's really weird. Like,
well, I'm gonna stop you there because here's the thing. I'm looking at some of these, and there's a few here. See, what it was is they made things tame for kids, but there was very adult-oriented subjects because a lot of these we're gonna get into, like one's about a radio show, one's about a
But you know, like
courtroom. You know what I mean?
Seinfeld, Frasier, none of those were
Right.
about like, even if they were family oriented, they weren't about like children. Where like
Well, no, but
Webster
see,
is very specifically about
About the
Webster.
child, yeah.
well, that's what happened. It either was when it came to the 80s, it was always family and child oriented, or it was always something about running something and a orient. You know what I mean? I mean, there were a few things where there would be two people that are just getting into drama with each other. Like there was always the same thing between each other, which we're going to get into it.
This is
Because
the
prime
longest
example.
we've ever taken describing what our tier list
Webster.
is. Like
But
describing what the tier
but the
list
reason
is
I
going
the
to be
reason I bring
about.
that up is because the 80s had a lot of things that were in common that had similarities that just flowed together. There were shows that I felt were different, and those shows that were my favorites, and those were the ones that were very out there, obscure things. Which again,
Okay.
you'll know it
Okay,
when
well,
you get
now
to
that
it.
we've
So
established our circular order, our
Okay.
linear
Growing
circular,
pains.
I'm going to take this one since it's my turn. And Canadian legend, it's a no duh.
wait, mine was
Yes.
The
Webster.
greatest.
I thought you took Webster.
No, that was you. You literally took it.
I didn't want
You
it.
kidnapped him.
You
Okay.
kidnapped him.
Wow, that's horrible.
Well, now
Well,
it's
I'm okay
JD.
with that. I'm
Different
okay with that.
strokes. This was a little bit better than the Facts of Life, even though that was a spin-off of it.
I very distinctly remember Different Strokes. Whereas the Facts of Life, I don't remember. Like, and at this point, you have to remember I would have been a rerun kid.
Yeah.
And the
Facts
80s
of Life had
sitcoms,
George Clooney.
80s and 70s sitcoms had a very specific place on daytime TV
Mm-hmm.
on the weekdays during the
Yes.
90s.
At noon.
Yeah, which is like, it's weird because it's like, wouldn't you not want those shows for the younger generation? Because they were clearly like all out, what is it? All in the Family and like the Jeffersons were playing at like 12 in the afternoon.
And Batman, the original TV series.
Yeah, I mean that's a
Yeah,
good
but
show.
All
though.
in the Family, All in the Family, there's no kid orientation to that one, to be honest.
But that's a
with you.
70s show.
But yeah, but
Yeah,
those
exactly.
shows for us would play in the afternoon
Yeah,
when like
exactly.
kids would be watching TV.
Yeah.
So that actually then moves into the next one. This I understand this is more targeted towards kids, but these are the obscure ones I really liked. Small Wonder, if we're moving on. I
Mhm.
love Small Wonder.
I
was a
hated
huge
this
fan
show.
I
I
loved it.
actually kind of liked it. I'm not going to say it was
Yeah.
good, but I kind of liked it.
See, for me,
Okay.
it
Maybe
would be
because
High
I
Chill
was
Pillow
young
to a
when I
No Duh.
saw it, and it was like
Yeah,
kind of
see,
made for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because my favorite show on this list has that same vibe that Small Wonder has, but Small Wonder just didn't do it as good as the other one, I felt. So for me, it would be like Low No Duh, High Chill Pill.
I mean, based on the fact of like what it is, like personal feelings aside, I would say it's probably, I would put it above the Facts of Life.
Okay. I'll give that to you guys.
I think we should now move Facts of Life down. Now I'm very comfortable with Facts of Life being in What's
Really?
Your
What's your
Damage.
damage?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm guessing you really were a fan of Not Facts of Life.
I really like the Facts of Life. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
okay,
was
put it
never a
back
fan.
up.
Okay.
You can put it back up.
For now, please. Thank you. Night Court. This
Ooh, it's
is
so
Putties.
cool. No, mine
No,
was
this is me. And Night Court is a banger.
Yeah.
This is
was
the opposite.
really
This is a show that they used to play the reruns at like 12 at
10
night.
o'clock at night. This
Yeah,
was
it would be,
definitely
like, late
not
at night.
this was definitely not catered to children.
I would say
No.
this is no duh. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm with you
I
on
would
that.
put this right behind
Yeah,
Growing Pains.
And my favorite character was Bull. I don't know why, but Bull is one of the funniest characters on that
No,
show.
By the
John
way, the
Larroquette,
remake-
Dan Fielding.
I mean, it was, yeah. But
Has
I
anyone
mean,
seen
I
the
agree.
remake?
No, is
I
it
have.
bad?
It is
Yes.
terrible.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
Terrible with the girl from Big Bang Theory.
Oh no.
Yeah. I
She
forget what
ain't
her
no
name
Marky
is.
Post.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Marky Post. She
All right.
died.
Take
Half
this
those
away.
guys are dead.
They're all dead from Night Court. I'm pretty sure, except one guy,
Who?
Judge
I've actually
Reinhold.
thought-
John Larroquette, I think, is the only one that's still alive.
Which was the show Judge Reinhold was on?
I don't know about the show that he was on. I know
Wasn't
he
he
was
on a
Fest-
sitcom?
Maybe.
I don't remember. Anyways, we're digging too deep here. JD, take it
Mhm.
away.
Okay. Out of This World. I
I
never
have no
watched
idea.
this one.
I never watched it either.
I never watched it either. So we'll just should we make a category for never watched? Or should we just leave it on the list?
Leave it there for right now. Or
Yeah, if
put
it
on the
grows,
list.
then we'll.
Okay, well just drag it to the end then for now, because I don't think we can't call it bad because we've never watched it.
Okay, we'll leave
No,
it
he's
there.
talking
for
about
now.
Drag it, just put
no,
it
he's
all the
talking
way
about the
behind
end.
Punky. Put it behind Punky Brewster.
Okay.
Yeah, and the list,
Okay.
yeah. So this would be mine then.
WKRP in Cincinnati. This
So,
one is yours, buddy.
I love this show. I would
Baby,
actually, for me,
if you'd ever
So
wonder.
did
but
I.
here's the thing. Here's the
They,
funny
Wonder
thing.
they,
I would
it
what
put,
came back,
became-
right? It came back in the 90s for like a
so here's the
run.
thing. I would put
Yeah,
in
quick
Wicked,
run.
but here's the thing. As a kid, I watched it with my parents, and I didn't
Living
appreciate
on
it.
the
And then
air
when
in
when I went
Cincinnati.
back to watch the reruns, I
Cincinnati,
appreciated more. But I think that was because I
WKRP.
was also changing in life, if you know what I mean, because of a certain actress on here that is just a banger. That's all I'm gonna say. So for me, it's Wicked.
I would definitely put it in no duh in comparison to the rest of the shows on the list.
Yeah, I'd put it like right about here.
Yeah,
It was
that
really
could,
good.
I'm not going to
Mhm.
complain about that. So,
Okay,
is it my turn?
it
Yeah.
is.
I have never seen Sledgehammer, so I'm going to defer.
I actually have seen it. It's a comedy. I wasn't that interested in it though. That's why it's not really memorable. For me, it would be What's Your Damage, but it'd be below Webster.
Okay, I'm good with that. It wasn't really that good of a show.
All
Okay,
right,
Charles
I'll
in
take,
charge.
I'll take Charles in charge then,
Okay,
and then we'll go back into the order. Charles in charge is had some really good moments, but like overall, I don't think it's anything special. I do think it's probably better than The Facts of Life.
I think it's also better than Small Wonder.
Okay,
I
that's
actually would agree with that. I mean, I love Small Wonder, but Charles in Charge, I was addicted to. So
It's prime Scott Baio.
yeah.
All right, JD, hey, take the Gary Shandling show.
So Gary Shandling show, basically it's the Larry David show before Larry David.
Mm-hmm.
With
It's
a little
actually
less.
like both of his shows are fantastic. This one and
Yeah,
I don't remember what
R.I.P.
the
Gary
other
Shandling.
yeah, our big RIP. But both of his shows are fucking bangers.
Yeah,
I
this
would
one-
honestly say this is wicked.
Yeah, this was one of the best.
I feel like there's more that's gonna be going into there. I mean, it's that good, but I would say a high note.
Let's
for me,
let's
but that's
say
okay.
let's keep it there for now, and if we have
And
to
then
knock
if we
it
need to
down,
move, we need
I
to
won't
move
be
it.
upset if we decide to knock it down.
Okay.
Okay. My Two Dads,
Buddy,
Paul
that's you.
Reiser.
Paul Reiser's first thing. Okay, My Two Dads is actually interesting. I had no problem with it, but I don't remember it outside of Paul Reiser and they're going, oh yeah, he was on that like Mad About You, and I was like, oh yeah, he was on that show. I forgot, So for me, it's a low chill pill. I don't know. It's kind of hard because I mean it's a low chill pill. Yeah.
I
And
would
a
put it at
very
the
young
top of Chill
Stacy
Pill.
Keenan. Yeah, I'm good with that. I enjoyed the show.
I thought it was a pretty funny show, to be honest with you. And I never even knew that it was called My Two Dads until I was doing this list. I was like, wait, I used to watch this show all the time. That's what it was called, My Two Dads.
Yeah.
Is this me?
I think I
yeah.
got skipped.
Head of class.
No, this is Putty. This is Putty. I had Gary
yeah.
Shandling.
Yeah.
Oh no, Putty had My Two Dads.
Yeah.
So this is me,
Oh, yeah,
head of
good. Oh,
class.
yeah.
I don't remember this, but I have seen it. It used to be on in the daytime on TBS, I believe.
Yeah. I remember when it aired live.
Mhm.
Like, once again, same guys who did this, same actor, Howard Hessman.
Better than WKRP in my eyes. So I mean, he's really good as the teacher in this, and I like some of the kids in the class, but it wasn't that memorable to me. Like for me, it would be ahead of Facts of Life or above Webster.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'd put it right next to Charles in Charge for me.
See, I would put
Fair.
below Small Wonder in my eyes, but that's okay.
This is my
Okay.
jam right here.
Mork and Mindy. Nanu
Yes,
Nanu. Was this 80s or was this 70s?
It's 70s, but it bled into the 80s. It had more seasons in the 80s than it did in the 70s. Everything that I checked, like I said, sorry, I only told you guys the opposite side. Anything that here that went from 70s to 80s, I picked things that had 80s, the most 80s feeling, and
Okay.
had either half of or the majority of their seasons be in the 80s. I think it has 3 seasons or 2 seasons in the 80s, and then the rest are in, in the 70s, and the rest are in the 80s.
Then why didn't you put Laverne and Shirley? Or did
Listen,
you?
on lists it wasn't there,
Okay.
so I just went with really baseline stuff that I could quickly think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Plus, there can always be a 70s list one day.
Yes. Okay. So Mork and Mindy. Campbell, this is yours.
Yeah, I honestly think this is better than My Two Dads, at least.
Oh yeah, Robin Williams is always. Buddy, you agree?
No, that's fine. Actually, would have been higher because I was actually thinking like no duh for more community because that's freaking Robin Williams.
Well, JD, do you think it's no duh worthy?
I think it's no duh worthy.
Okay, then I'll take it. Is it better than Night Court?
I think so.
Not for me.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fair. The
Okay.
Jeffersons.
It's funny. It's funny. Before we move on, I'm going to say this. I'm starting to realize there's a lot of shows here I would put very high that I don't think you guys would. So I don't know. This is going to be conflicting because
Well,
there's some shows
we're
here.
definitely not putting Punky Brewster high. I'll tell you that now.
Oh
Yeah,
no, I'm
Punky
not.
Brewster sucks.
Yeah.
Can we just put Punky Brewster and Grody right now? Like,
yeah, let's do that.
All right,
There.
thank you. I feel better now.
There's some Punky Brewster fan that you just made them cry.
You know what?
The Jeffersons.
The only time Punky Brewster was good was when she played the lawyer Frankie in season 6 of
Franklin and Bash.
No, what's the show called? Community.
Community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Or when she was Sabrina's friend in Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah,
Fair
exactly.
enough.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
Okay. I'm putting this right behind Gary Shandling. I love this show.
I'm not. I wasn't that big fan of the Jeffersons. I'll be honest with you. I didn't. It didn't appeal to me. I guess it was because the whole rags to riches, and I wasn't. I was rags in that situation. I mean, between that, I guess. So I don't know.
Iconic theme song.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's memorable and everything, but I was never a big fan of the Jeffersons.
Okay.
You know.
Did you know that they made a remake of Punky Brewster?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Wow, that's crazy. I think this is definitely a no duh. If it's not in Wicked, it has to be.
I'd put it like right behind Mork and Mindy for me.
I can live with that. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad show. I just don't like it myself. So
just him going around calling everybody a honky.
I don't know. I've gotten skipped a few times. I don't know.
It's Putty.
Okay. Oh, I get Newhart. See, here's the thing. I know Bob Newhart. Well, here's my thing. R.I.P. Bob Newhart. Me and Mom were just talking about it. And we're talking about the show. I wasn't a fan, but I appreciated how good the show was.
This was definitely catered to an older audience.
Exactly. And a way older audience. It was like Golden Girls situation, which we'll get to that later. But that situation, I thought, but that's different. That's what I'm saying. That's different than this. A Newhart was good, but I didn't enjoy it that much.
Okay.
So for me, it's like a high chill pill, maybe.
In fairness to Putty, who just gave it such a low rating, I think we can settle somewhere in no duh, but I would put this in Wicked because this is like one of the most. This is the show that is the reason that sitcoms became the way that we're used to seeing sitcoms in terms of.
This was Seinfeld before Seinfeld.
Yeah, the comedy writing for it is just so well done. It's like you took a show that I had no interest in watching, and it would come on, and every time it came on, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to watch these old people show," and then it would be on, and I'd laugh the whole time.
Well, see, it's funny because with Bob Newhart, I appreciated his comedy back in the day, and I understood it. It just didn't appeal to me. The only time Bob Newhart was good to me was actually in The Big Bang Theory. I thought he was amazing on that show, and that's where I really thought he shined in those situations. But I'm
Daryl. This is my brother Daryl, and this is my other brother Daryl.
Yeah, this is my other brother Daryl. Huh? Yeah, no, I mean, actually, that's the funny thing. His brother's way more funny in my eyes in those situations. I think it was just because he was the dry humor where they put off the little more comical ways, or I guess almost satirical.
JD, rank it somewhere in no duh.
I'm putting it ahead of the Jeffersons for me.
I would put it ahead of Mork and Mindy.
I'm good with that. It was a very dry, funny, like dry wit. Like it was very. We wouldn't have Seinfeld if we didn't have Newhart. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it was more of a modern sitcom in the 80s.
Yeah. Okay. Campbell, this one's yours. Bosom Buddies.
Yo, dude, I'm a huge fan of Bosom Buddies. I don't care. This is
Tom Hanks at his finest.
I always liked this show, and I always was on whenever we'd be going to Florida. It would be playing in like the morning when you wake up at the hotel and like everyone's getting ready at like the 6 a.m. show block. I would put this in at least in Chill Pill somewhere.
Buddy?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I would say Chill Pill too, but mine for me would be behind Charles in Charge, to be honest with you.
I'm good with that. Campo, you good with that?
I go very okay with that.
Okay. So this one's mine. Three's Company. I'm putting this in Wicked. I love this show.
I'm not going to argue it because Don Knotts is peak TV.
Don Knotts, he was better than Mr. Furley.
I'm okay with
Wicked. He was Furley.
I'm okay with Wicked, but it wasn't one of my favorites. I do appreciate
and we'll keep it in the same situation as Gary Shandling, where it has potential to move.
Okay.
I feel like the shows I liked. This is
Buddy, this is you.
I hated it. It was not my thing. It was not made for me. It's made for women. It's 100% made for women. It's in the name, Designing Women. They're designing women's shows for designing women. That's why it's called Designing Women. For me, it's Grody. Not behind Punky Brewster, though.
Whoa.
show. No,
This
okay,
is one of the best written shows of the entire
okay,
80s.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not. I can't put it there. You're right. It probably goes in the chill pill, but I'm gonna say this right now. I don't like it, but it does. It's not made for me.
That's
Let's put
the
that.
best, the first time Putty has ever
Yeah.
took the differentiated him not liking something and it being decent.
Well, I mean, it's not
I'm okay
enjoyable
with
to
that.
me, but
I
like
would say it's no duh at the back of no duh. And if Putty's saying somewhere in the middle of chill pill, we'll let JD decide where it goes.
We'll just
That's
put
just
it
me
right
being-
by. How about behind my two dads?
Okay.
Okay. Growing up, this was also one of my favorite shows.
The
Not
first
everybody
couple
liked it.
seasons of this are wicked.
Like you had such legends on the show. You had Tony Danza, Danny
Andy
DeVito,
Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, Mary Lou Henner, like
Doc Brown.
yes.
Which, by the way, people don't know, Mary Lou Henner. She has a memory, like that. What's it called? She has a photographic memory. She remembers everything that's happened in her life.
And she was hot.
Nothing. Oh, I know. Like, go look at it. They've done interviews with her. She has not photographic memory. What's the memory where you literally remember everything?
Eidetic.
You can go back. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, she has that, and it's like amazing what she can recapture and everything. But this show for me is wicked as well. I will say this though, it's not my number one. Like, I'm putting stuff in wicked because I feel they're amazing, but I know this is a good show because of what the actors that came out of it. Like, with Danny DeVito, with Andy Kaufman,
John Hirsch.
Exactly. The problem is it's one of those shows that I love going back to, but it's not like
Okay, this is
lot.
my argument here. I would put this in Wicked, and I think we just have a 5 limit on Wicked, and when we hit that limit, we have to decide something has to come out of it because I think we're gonna pass it. I see enough shows here that I feel like we will pass that.
And let's just say at 72, Mary Lou Henner still looks amazing.
You better keep it in your pants, bud. All right, just enjoy the character development.
Older than my mom.
Hey, like that, like we need it with the Acolyte. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, Benson. I was really not a fan of this one.
I wasn't either.
You guys rank that. I've never seen Benson.
Chill Pill again. It's the same situation as Designing Women. Like I feel like it's a decent show. It's just it wasn't my cup of tea.
I'd put it worse. I'd put it at the top of What's Your Damage.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Okay. Head was it Ben Vereen?
Who's
All right.
this? Buddy, go ahead. You have this. We'll start at you again. We'll start the circle again.
This is my Wicked. I love Married with Children. It is my number 2 on this list right now. I was addicted to this show. Yeah, later seasons became bad, especially when Bud became his rapper character. But like every bit of this show had so much nuance, and it felt more realistic to real life.
The for sure the 80s portion of this show, which I believe is like 4 seasons, is Wicked for sure. Just maybe the last 2 seasons is not very good.
Marcy and Steve was the better couple than Marcy.
I agree. But see, I still didn't mind the new one with Marcy. It's just the thing was at that point they shifted more towards the children, and I'm okay with that. It just when Bud became that rapper thing, that's when it became weird to me.
Someone made a YouTube documentary about him. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Like,
the actor Danny Faustino?
Yeah. No, not Bud.
Christina Applegate?
The replacement for the neighbor.
For
Marcy's second husband.
Yeah.
They made a documentary about him on like how there's like a curse, like a joking like thing that goes around Hollywood where he's a curse, and every time he shows up in a show halfway into a show, the show gets canceled.
Jefferson.
Oh wow.
And Jefferson, yeah. But then the guy's documentary thing that he made proves that like the ratings when he was on those shows went up.
Oh, can we point out one thing? Another thing I noticed with Married Children, I'm gonna go ahead and say it this way. It's horrible to say it. That show was the Eminem of the '80s because that show right now would not fly nowadays.
Oh no, this show would totally get canceled.
It would be canceled so quickly.
Well, I'm sure we've all seen it because we were all dirty perverts at that point.
Yeah.
The Unhappily Ever After with Nikki Cox, which is
it's a ripoff
of this. It's made by the same people. It's technically a spinoff.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same. A spinoff has a character that transfers over.
I guess, yeah. It just exists in the same universe then. That was like Married with Children on crack with Bobcat Goldthwait as the...
No, that's Greg the Bunny.
Yeah, that's Greg the Bunny.
Look at it. Type it in.
Oh yeah, no, he's right. He's right.
Get
Greg
Timmy
the
to
Bunny
do
was the
it.
one with Seth Green.
Greg the Bunny
Oh.
is Seth Green, which is also actually a
What
good
was
show.
it called? Nikki?
Unhappily Ever After.
Oh, unhappy.
I liked Unhappily Ever After, but I still liked Married Children better, just because I felt like it had a better plot development in it. I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes. He was still a puppet though.
And who's the dad? Does it say who the actor is? The dad?
There's Jeff Pearson, Kevin Connolly.
Yeah, I think it was
Which I
Kevin
might go
Conroy.
watch. I might go rewatch Unhappily Ever After. I haven't watched it in a long time.
Anyways,
but I
Married with
remember what
Children
you're
can
on.
go in Wicked.
Okay.
I think it's better than any of the shows in No Duh, so I think that's fair.
Okay. I can live with that.
All right, now let's talk about our friend who died
Benji of heat stroke in his car. Poor guy.
at a
R.I.P.
Chase
Benji
Bank
Gregory.
parking lot.
Okay, so I said there. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. It's not my spot. It's not my turn.
I'm just gonna say somewhere in Chill Pill.
I'd put it at the top.
I know where I want it, but I freaking love Alf. I know it doesn't hold up nowadays. I want them to remake Alf or give us a movie where we can have maybe a lot more special
I was
effects with
actually
him.
very surprised on all of like the top 30 lists I was looking at. For some reason, all of the lists were top 30, by the way, which makes it even weirder. It was always near the bottom. And
Really?
its scores, critical scores, are actually super low. I didn't know that. I always thought Elf was a show that people liked.
Well, that's what's confusing me, because Alf was like a critical, like they like, you know how things become big and they
Yeah,
get merchandise. Alf was one of those huge. Like, I had all the Pizza Hut puppets. My mom and dad,
He's
literally
back
every
and
weekend.
he's in Pog form.
Exactly.
I had the Pogs too. Actually, I had the Pog Creator, the Pog Maker, where you can make
You
your
know
little
Elf?
stickers.
Well, he's back and in Pog form.
Pog form.
But like we
It
talked
only
about
cost
last
me
time,
Bart's soul.
like we talked about with the animated thing, the Gordon Shumway series or the Alf series was horrible, but the Alf the
The
show,
animated show?
yeah, the Gordon Shumway, but well, he's already called Gordon Shumway, but wasn't it called Gordon Shumway?
Yeah,
No,
it was called
Alf.
Oh, okay.
It was
Alf
called
the animated series.
Yeah, I believe there was
Okay.
also another spin-off called the Chase Bank Parking Lot.
We're back at that one again.
Original music done by us.
Dude, we need to get some Suno up here and let's get some started. But anyway, that was fun too, by the way. We need to do it again another day. But anyway.
Maybe we'll
Well-
release that one day. We're gonna
Well,
hold
now
on
we
to
know
that.
how it works. If we do it through Discord, we mute our mics on Discord now.
Yeah, but we don't even know if the music played. I've never checked the
You
recording.
need to go check it. Yeah, we need to check that.
This is gonna be our lost recording. One day it's gonna show up in a Discord somewhere, and for the people.
For the people.
The Bill
people wanna hear.
Crosby show.
This
Sidney
was mine.
Crosby.
So can I? Oh, well, no, it's JD.
No, you
first.
can't. It's JD. You can't.
Well, it's say what you will about the person. This show was excellent. Like moral values, just like wholesome, funny. Like he was a great comedian. And if you take away the person that Bill Cosby was, I would have to put this at the top of something like No Duh.
I'm gonna have to say this is Wicked.
I'll take it. I would even say this is better than Married with Children.
See, that's the weird part. Like, I guess I definitely am falling on the whole bad person, because I watched this show religiously, but I also was like, it was kind of like a family,
This is how I see it, right? The problem with the show that you have is that his name is specifically attached to the show.
Yeah,
But to
exactly.
me, it discredits the fact of all the good work the rest of the massive cast did.
Alicia
No, I agree.
So
Rashad.
good by pretending that we can't rate it higher.
But no, I'm gonna go back and say this though. But then if I look at it at a broader distance, this reminded me of stuff like Full House, where it's like very at home situation. Because like I said, there was a lot of plot lines that were big on here that were fun, but when you go back and look at them, they go, well, that was kind of corny. For example, the diet situation with the rice cakes and the sub and all that kind of stuff, that was funny at times, but then it felt like the joke got old.
But
And
then his
that's where-
barbecue sauce.
His barbecue
Okay,
sauce.
now the barbecue
crazy.
I love my barbecue sauce. I mean, but yeah. I mean, the thing is like, it's funny. The Cosby Show was good at the beginning, and then I feel like it got bad later. But
Yeah.
later, we're going to get into a show that's part of the show that I felt was horrible in the beginning, but ended up being better later. And we'll get to
What's
that.
Lisa
So-
Bonet?
Yeah.
So same but different. Okay, I want to say this. I think all the Cosby shows have been good. I believe there's 3. Is
Yes.
there 3 Cosby shows?
Yes.
And then there was the 90s one where it's just him and Felicia Rashad.
I think it was just called Cosby.
Cosby,
Yeah, I've
but
never
it's
seen that.
not related to this Cosby at all, even though it's the same husband and wife.
Which is so weird because the Cosby Show was called the Cosby Show, but they were called Mr. and Mrs. Huxtable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the Cosby Show, just called Cosby, that featured Doug E. Doug as the owner of a cafe that he frequented.
Everybody do the Dougie.
It was so much like Becker that it was really crazy. Like the way it was filmed and the lighting and the writing style.
Was it made
of,
after Becker?
No, they were like came out at like the same time.
Oh
yeah.
wow. Okay.
It's so strange. If you watch both of them, and both of them, their names are in yellow on the like posters.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
it's
it's a
this is
picture of
basically like a
them.
volcano Dante's Inferno situation. what we
Yeah,
got here.
basically.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I
Okay.
believe they're both doctors in both shows. They're a
Yes,
doctor.
they are.
I just don't. I will admit though, I still feel Married with Children was a better show. But
I
get
think Becker's underrated. I'm just gonna throw that out
Yes.
there. Is Dougie Doug in Becker or Crosby?
I think he was in Becker.
Can we get a fact check on that? Can
Okay.
we get
Timmy's
Timmy to
gonna-
work? I like putting Timmy to work. This podcast is already way too long, so we might as well just not care.
Heck, the tier list that we did 3 tier lists, I feel like is shorter than this tier list.
Yeah, but that's because you picked a tier list topic that we've done already.
I know, but I feel like it was a nice little charm to give a little twist.
It
you know what I
worked.
mean?
Doing it in the speed of light, and then the fact that they came out exactly the same was mental. It's a social experiment. You guys
Dougie
need
Doug
to
was
see it.
hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Dougie Doug was not in Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, he was.
So was Malcolm Jamal Warner in one of those shows?
No.
Malcolm and Jamal Warner was one. Didn't he play in a show where he played a teacher or something like that?
Yes, that's right. There was.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah,
show he played a
in
teacher.
Cosby, it has Dougie Doug.
Yeah, it's Cosby.
See, I knew, and it has Madeline Kahn. Wow, this cast had a lot of people. Journey Smollett was in the Cosby Show. What?
He was also in the animated series Little Bill. Bill
I have no
Cosby's
idea what that
other
is.
series.
Oh yeah, that's true. Becker
the
had
only
6
Bill Cosby
seasons.
show-
Wow.
The only Bill Cosby. See, here's the thing. It's funny we say that, but here I give the Cosby Show bad things. But you want to know what Cosby made that I genuinely still love to this day?
Jello
All I
pudding
have to do is
pops.
go. Well, no, but and I know everyone's gonna make a joke. I had a T-shirt for it and everything. I even had a T-shirt later in life. Hey, hey, hey!
Fat
Fat
Albert is
Albert
one of
was
the
one of the
worst
best.
things that was ever created.
See, I loved Fat Albert.
Picture Pages was better.
Well, either way, I
Listen,
loved.
You
Fat
know what was
Albert.
better at that point? What's the thing with the railroad? Conjunction Junction.
Junction?
Oh,
Conjunction
what
Junction.
That's
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 There's something
Schoolhouse Rock.
electricity.
the electric company.
Oh, electric
Electric
company. They
Company,
actually
there you
had what's her name? Freaking the singer. What's her name?
Anyways, we're not talking
Moving on.
about French Stewart here.
Okay, Putty, this one's yours. I can't see which one this one
I don't know
is.
what this is.
It's a
I don't
living.
want this.
It's a living.
Let's-
Never watched it.
Never watch it.
Brody.
Okay, drag it to the end.
Back at the end. Yeah.
Okay, who's the boss? This has to go in Wicked as well.
I'm not a Wicked. Who's the bosser?
Oh, but we
really?
have 5 in there already.
If I'm looking at the shows that are in Wicked, if I'm putting Who's the Boss in, I'm taking out Three's Company.
Yeah, I feel like this is a no duh.
To me, this would be the top of no duh.
Okay, I'll take it. I only thought it was Wicked because I had the biggest crush on Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, so did everyone
Well, see,
else
I
on
agree
Earth.
with you on that one. But see, the thing is, like I said, that's why, for example, WKRP got
Funny.
no duh because
Because Wicked is another name for a movie with witches, and Alyssa Milano was in a show with witches
It's called Charmed.
oh, full
R.I.P.
circle,
Shannon
baby.
Doherty.
R.I.P. Shannon Doherty. Wow,
Wow.
the circles are full today.
Good lord.
Rose
All right.
McGowan dated Marilyn Manson, who was in a song with Eminem, and it comes all the way back to the
The
original
Death of Slim
Eminem show,
Shady.
Married with Children.
Children.
And then we just had the death of Slim Shady. More death involved.
That's crazy.
More
Full
death
circle.
involved.
Okay,
Full
a different
circle.
world.
Okay, so
I like
Dwayne
it.
is
Wayne.
this mine?
Yep.
No, this is mine. Okay, so here's the thing. This is what we actually talked about before. The Cosby Show is one of those shows I felt like it started off good, and then the ending I wasn't too much into it. This was a show that I did not like in the beginning, but when they took Bill Cosby's or whatever
Lisa
her name-
Bonet.
yeah, when they took her out of the show, I feel the show was much better then. I feel like the relationship between Dwayne Wayne and what's her name was such a great aspect, and
I
that
forgot
made
the
me love
actress.
the show.
The actress's name was Jasmine
Guy, and she was like, I was so stupidly attracted to her for the
I was
entirety
too.
of this show. Like
why
I
was she
used
with
to
Dwayne
only
Wayne?
watch this show for her.
But see, that's why I watched WKRP. I can't think of her name, but what's her name in WKRP was the same reason why I watched that was because of what's her name in
Well,
it.
you're
You know what I
thinking
mean?
Lonnie Anderson.
Yes, Lonnie Anderson.
Whitney.
Oh God.
It was Whitney.
Yeah,
She
Whitney.
would
Yep.
talk like the Southern Belle.
So a different world for me, I feel like might be in a no duh. Actually, I don't know, maybe chill pill behind Alf because I like Alf better, but I don't know.
I
It's
think
you guys side.
my biggest issue with A Different World is that it tried to have the morals of the Cosby Show, but it tried to do it in a way where a show that would come along a few years later called Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I would handle it
Better.
much better.
I agree.
So that's my only thing, but I agree with you. The Lisa Bonet-less years of this are far superior.
Superior?
Lisa
You mean
Bonet-less
inferior?
wings.
I don't like it with Lisa Bonet.
Okay, you said
Me
superior.
neither.
You mean inferior?
And
I said the seasons without her are better,
Oh, okay.
yes,
I see what you're
right?
saying.
Because
No, I
she's
get what
not.
you're saying.
She's only in it for the first like 2 seasons, right?
yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then she
then they
goes
brought her
back to the
back.
Cosby Show.
I would say this is ahead of Elf.
Okay.
Can we put it behind now?
Okay,
Possibly? Would you
fine,
guys
All
be
fine,
right.
okay with that?
fine,
Yeah,
fine,
put
Give
it
me
fine.
back.
that. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, Campo, this was yours.
Mr. Belvedere, I fucking hate this show.
It did
I
have
was
the best theme song though.
it
Okay,
wasn't
fair.
Yeah. It was a show that
Streaks
when
on
it
the
was on, I
China,
enjoyed it.
never mattered before. Who cares?
I just love that these are one of those shows that they did that like just like they did with the Punky Brewster, where it's like, oh, you got to have that one show that's teaching kids about bad things, and this had one of those episodes that's very memorable, and I'm like, it
Oh
was
yeah,
very
where the lifeguard
cringe.
touches Wesley
Yes,
inappropriately.
Holy
it was
crap,
very
bro!
cringe.
I forgot about that, and as soon as Putty started talking about it, it just flew back in my head, and what an uncomfortable show to watch.
Exactly that part.
Watching a
That I remember
shirtless
watching that.
Wesley getting touched by.
I remembered that as a kid, and
Let's
I
not
was
talk
like,
about
this
that.
bothers me. So yeah, I would put it as grody. I know there's a lot of Belvedere fans,
No,
but I'm like,
JD, are you a Grody on Mr. Belvedere?
I put it like behind Webster.
Okay, put it there then, because like I genuinely don't think it's bad as Punky Brewster.
Like I mean,
Punky Brewster's really bad. Like
we did have like Bob Euchre on
Yeah.
this show.
Euchre. Who's next?
It
I think
is
I would.
me, Family Ties.
Ooh. Are you a Republican or Democrat? That seemed like that was the only fucking plot of this show the whole time.
Yeah.
Let me go back in time.
When he
yeah,
became political, when he suddenly became political.
the family are Democrats and he's the Republican.
Yeah.
Yep. Fun fact, by the way, they could not get him to play Marty McFly because he was doing this show. They wouldn't release him to do it. And then I guess it was after the season. I can't remember exactly what happened. And because they gave him the opportunity, we got him as Marty McFly.
They
So,
did all the
Yeah.
filming with Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
They almost did the entire movie, and they didn't like it so much that they were willing to do whatever he wanted to work around his schedule.
That's why
to
there's a
make it
lot of
work.
that's why while he was working on Family Ties, most of the scenes were filmed at night.
Makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah. But this was a good show. It wasn't like, top tier, but I mean, I'd put it somewhere like
I don't
between
know.
Night Court and Newhart.
Okay, it's on the same level for me in terms of like what it is as a show as Growing Pains, but I just think that your boy Alan Thicke is like, I mean, also a really good Canadian on this show too.
Michael Gross is also Canadian, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. Actually, a couple of good Canadian girls on this show.
No,
Michael
Michael
J.
Gross is not Canadian.
All right, well,
Surprise.
one other Michael is. So I think it's no duh, but I don't know where you guys can put it where you want in no duh.
Really, it's a no duh. I mean, okay, sure. I would say I'm ahead of the Jeffersons.
Yeah, I'm fine with it there.
I can live with it.
I
really like George Jefferson. I don't know why you guys hate George Jefferson. So
I want to put him higher.
I don't know why you guys hate this. Just a disgrace to this people.
Okay.
I'm the only one that doesn't like
Putty,
it.
this one's yours. Golden Girls.
Okay, I'm so glad this one's mine because this is a Deadpool-esque thing to do right now. Okay, so the Golden Girls, it's one of those shows that if you are young, you're not going to understand it. If you're old, you're really going to understand it. And if you're looking at it at a different perspective and not understanding the greatness of the show, then you're just an idiot. Okay, Golden Girls is an amazing show. I love the Golden Girls, though it is not really my audience. I'll admit, when Deadpool loves the show, you gotta love it too. Anyway, no, I'm not gonna use that as a way, but no, I actually really enjoyed
Please
Golden
don't.
Girls. For me, it's a no duh situation.
I actually had a really, 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 really deep discussion about this recently, and it revolved a lot around Ryan Reynolds and him really helping to bring back what's her name?
B.
Betty
Arthur.
White or B.
Betty
Arthur.
White into like prominence. B. Arthur as well, but he's the one. Ryan Reynolds pulled money out of his own pocket to get her featured on a lot of things to help make the documentaries that they made because he believed that she was so important to the world of Hollywood and people were
Mhm.
forgetting who she was. And if you've ever seen the documentaries, she's the first woman to have her own talk show. She's the first woman to have a person of color be the co-host of a talk show. She's the
Mhm.
first woman to win an award for a sitcom, to win an award for a variety show.
There,
She is the first woman to be one of the starring roles, speaking roles in a radio show.
Yes.
She
And
That's
is
how long she's been
she
around.
is one of the most important pioneers ever in the history of Hollywood. Not to mention,
agree.
B. Arthur is one of the filthiest mouths in all of
I
comedy.
agree.
And
And-
the old lady, I can't remember who plays
Estelle
her.
Getty.
Estelle Getty is just so funny.
oh,
And Blanche is also this is wicked. This show is wicked.
I'm yeah, cool.
Estelle
I'm so
Getty
down.
reminds me of your nonna.
I don't want. My problem is I'm afraid of married children going down.
We're
but I'm
not
gonna say
taking
this right now.
anything out yet. We're gonna make the
Okay,
deal.
okay.
I think we
All right.
were okay. Who's the boss? Stays in no duh.
Yeah.
But I think right now let's just fill up Wicked and we'll decide later what's gonna
Okay,
happen.
so I also want to say one
I
other thing.
put the Golden Girls ahead of Taxi.
So
Yeah,
I want
we'll
to go
keep
and
it
say
there.
one other thing too that you didn't bring up that you might not know about. There were people that were mad because they were talking about how there's a lot of people that host the Saturday Night Live. There was a fan letter or like a fan service. Fans signed a petition, a huge petition, to get Betty White to host Saturday Night Live. And this is like before she passed away. She did it. And she even talks about it in her monologue saying, I don't even know what Facebook is, but they apparently want me on there. And by the way, if you don't like the newer SNL, go watch the one where she hosts. That stuff is hilarious.
Yeah,
And
that's
Betty
one of the
White
best
is a
episodes.
legend.
Yeah.
She's a comedy genius. I
Oh.
just like people don't know that. She's legitimately a comedy genius.
Like I even told I even
And
admitted
she
to it.
also was on a lot of game shows. People don't know
Yes,
that as well.
in
She
the
loved game
70s.
shows.
Betty
And she
White
was
one of
also
those
she also featured a lot on the Dean Martin roasts.
Yeah.
Betty White was one
yeah.
of those people that you wanted her to be your grandmother, you wanted her to be your wife. She was.
Listen, if anyone has not seen Hot in Cleveland, she is
Oh
very
my
good in it.
god,
Underrated
that's another
show.
one.
That show lasted so long just because of how good she is on it.
I know, and see, the thing is, I love that's the appeal of Betty White is she can play these characters that are
2000s
not
tier
really
list coming
bright,
soon.
but she's one of the smartest people you could ever meet. But then she plays these dumb characters in such a delightful way. It's like again, Betty White.
Okay, well,
may she rest
we
in
got to
peace.
pick
I
this
love
up because
her.
I got a one review of these next two reviews that's at least going to be like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
There's like
So
67 matches on the Noah card. Cheers. Easy,
this
Wicked.
one's yours. Yeah.
No questions asked. Just put it in there. We'll decide later.
Done.
I don't think there's options. I think Cheers is one of the most important sitcoms
Yep.
ever in sitcom.
I agree.
I
Yep.
wanted
Perfect
to-
Strangers. This is JD's. We landed 3 in a row perfectly on the right person, by the way.
Yep. Perfect Strangers. This goes somewhere in between here.
Yeah,
For me.
I'm not going to disagree. I love Perfect Strangers.
I love it.
Goes in Zaddy.
Surge
I'm
is
so
my
happy to we do
favorite.
the dance of joy.
Listen, Surge
Yeah.
is one of the
Zaddy,
best parts of the new Beverly Hills
Mhm.
Cop. If anyone hasn't seen it yet, it's totally worth your time.
We even get a get the fuck out of here.
Mama's Family, Putty.
I love Mama's Family. I would love that, no dub. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't know if that was
I
something that
actually
you
really
guys-
like Mama's Family, and it only was until my later years when I realized she wasn't actually an old lady.
No,
Vicki Lawrence.
but she pulled it off really nicely. Like
Yeah,
she didn't have the wrinkles, but she liked the way the mannerisms. Like she's really,
me,
really she was one.
Without Mama's Family, you don't get Roseanne
I
No,
agree.
you
or
don't.
Grace Under Fire. This is like the original of those two shows.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
There's
And
no
Um,
Reba without Mama's Family.
Oh, and that just made me think. We don't have Sanford and Son on here.
That's
That's
70s.
70s.
Oh, is that 70s? Okay.
That's
Yeah.
all
Well, isn't
70s, yeah.
Mama's Family kind of 70s? Then I
Yeah,
thought
but
that
I
was
picked
70s.
shows that had 80s feelings that had
I'd put it
multiple,
there.
like a majority of seasons.
So
I
did
would
she
put it
actually have some
behind
80s
Growing
in there?
Pains.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Actually, I'm okay with putting. I'm fine with that. That's fine. Mine.
Is this me?
This one is you. 227.
227. I
No,
don't know
this
if
is
anyone's seen this.
Yeah, this is you. Yeah.
It's the basis of the show is a lady sits outside her house and like talks to the
Wasn't this one of Jet K's first shows?
Yes, and it's actually surprisingly good and not that well known, but it's well
Spinoff
regarded.
of the Jeffersons.
Yes, it's actually pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't go super high with it, but I gotta say it's probably somewhere at least around Charles in Charge.
So I'm gonna say
Yeah.
this. I don't remember. I remember the show, but I
I'd
don't
kinda put it
remember
up
actual
here.
episodes in the show. To be honest with you, I just
It wasn't like
remember
super long
glimpses.
running, but I was surprised. I think it has 3 seasons, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I didn't think it went that long.
And
Yeah.
I remember because I was at that right age where I just finished off watching like Sesame Street, and then I started watching 227, and it had Olivia from Sesame Street on the show.
That's factual. That checks. All right, the last show on the list, JD, One Day at a Time.
This was a What's Your Damage? I didn't like this show. It was.
See, okay. So
I'd put it here.
I don't remember. I don't remember what the show was. I know the name. I've heard this, but I don't remember what the show was about.
I don't know what this one specifically is. I definitely watched it, but I know the remake about it was about like a Latino family that on Netflix.
That didn't help me either because I didn't watch that either.
I don't
remember
specifically remember this version of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
this was more 70s with a couple seasons in the 80s. It's a divorced mom raising 2 kids. Valerie Bertinelli is one of the daughters in this show.
And then the other guy's like a handyman or something.
Yeah,
right?
he's just a handyman that's living around.
Or like the landlord. It's something like that.
Yeah. It was fine.
Yeah, I've seen it because it was a very popular show, but
Yeah.
it's not something I like that sticks out of my head. Okay. So here's our mess. We have 2 extra shows in Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not parting ways with Golden Girls or Cheers.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to part ways with Married with Children though.
I can move Three's Company.
Okay, let's take Three's Company as one for sure. Because I would say
Put it at the top
that's
of no doubt. Though. Still
yeah,
put it
keep it
unless you
where
want it.
above Who's the Boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like
This is hard.
I wanna say the Gary Shandling show, but it's so so good that like I almost can't. I can't. I like maybe
See, here's the
Taxi.
You know what? I'm willing to part with Taxi.
I think that would have been my next option.
See, here's
I'm
the
willing
funny
to
thing
part
about
as long as we keep it at the top of no dub because I love this show.
Yeah.
Next would have been probably Married with Children.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say this. Here's the thing with Gary Shandling show. I'm gonna say this. It's a good show. Here's my problem with it. It doesn't feel 80s. It actually feels more 90s to me. Like I don't know why, but I feel like it was way too ahead.
I think you're thinking of the other one. JD, can you get Timmy to check what the other Gary Shandling
which one?
show's called?
Gary Shandling. Okay, Timmy's on it.
He had a show like in the mid. And this show was a he's the guy who makes a sitcom, so it's like a sitcom within a sitcom. And then the other show,
this one.
show.
It's Gary Shandling.
Yeah,
It's Gary Shandling.
And the other one was just called the Gary
Shandling
Oh,
show. That was
okay.
the other one is he has a talk show. He's a late night talk show host.
That's the one. That's the one I feel like is like
that show is fucking amazing.
He was also a big part in the Larry Sanders show.
Larry Sanders show was amazing too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
wait, isn't Larry Sanders show the one where he's a late night talk show host?
Television sitcom, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one that was on
Sanders.
HBO. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I really love that.
Okay, so in terms of re-ranking the top, this has to go first?
Cheers.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
I think Golden Girls should be second.
Yeah, I think that's how I would do it. No.
Keep it like that?
Yeah. Because just the last seasons of it are so weak.
Yeah. Okay.
The Cosby Show is as well. Like I would debate taking off one of those two and moving Taxi back up, but I'm okay with it, and I can survive like this.
Yeah, you know me, I would take
the reason why I moved Taxi and Three's Company down, why I thought these two should move down, because these are I think more 70s than 80s for me.
And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. And guys, this is our list. Thank you for watching. Check out their channels. Let us know what we did wrong, and have a good night.